Hello and welcome back to Green Street Leaks, another edition of Football Refocused with myself, Budgie, and to my left, Cieran. How are you, mate?
Good day, Bowie. I'm really good. I'm really good, mate. I'm really good.
Good stuff.
How you doing? Been a while, boy. We had a little chat for a while, so.
Yeah, it's been a little while, hasn't it? I thought it, but give us a chance to freshen up a little bit and.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you get bored of talking to each other week in, week out, so we've had a break. So.
Well, I'm bored of talking to you, that's for sure.
Fuck yeah. So you should.
As you may guess, people, Cieran and I, we have a little bit of banter and we have a bit of fun. If you haven't seen any of the previous shows that we've done, scroll back, have a look later after this, but have a look later and, don't forget to like and subscribe and share what you see if you like it. So
they're probably better than this one.
So as it stands this morning, it's Monday morning, bank holiday Monday. We got beaten by Arsenal yesterday, 2-1 in the league. We'll brush past that, I think, Cieran, because to be honest, wasn't a performance I really want to talk about. No,
we'll skip over it, guys. It was we were unlucky. It weren't a terrible performance, but just in the dying stage, last half hour of the game, we sort of lacked any cutting edge and sort of right was on the wall. It was a shame because we played so well in the first half.
Yeah,
I think we competed with them, and I think if you asked anyone saying, "Look, this is a team, vying for the top four," Arsenal, they didn't look at all, did they? They weren't much better than us.
They did look quite well organised, though.
Yeah, they were all organised. Had a bit of pace about them.
Yeah.
But I think what cost us, mate, we missing Dawson and we rested Souček and we didn't have the big timber in the back and they scored from 2 set pieces. And I think that may be, at the end of the day, probably what cost us.
Yeah, that'd be the telling story, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? The fact that
I think so. I think so.
A patchwork back four.
We did.
And, thankfully that, Kurt Zuma's back, but, that concerns me a little because, on Thursday when we played Eintracht Frankfurt, it looked like he was limping off or he was uncomfortable when he was coming off.
Yeah, I was amazed he started, Budge. I really were. I just did. And even I think the post-match that Moyes said, I think the reporter asked him, is he okay? And would it be okay for Arsenal? And he said, well, he's not going to be playing, 2 games in 3 days, He's such a liar, isn't he, Moyes?
I know.
He's such a bullshitter. Right? He basically told him, no chance of that. And then, he does it
he does it for the best intentions of the club. So
absolutely. I love him for it.
A lying bastard, isn't you? You know what I mean?
You got to lie for the right reasons, and he's doing it.
Yeah,
he does it all the time.
I'd love to be in one
I didn't expect Zuma to play at all.
I'd love to be in one of them press conferences, I'd be sat at the back going, liar, pants on fire.
Yeah, I know. You fucking stop telling lies, will you, David? For fuck's sake. You're fucking bullshit, and we know you are.
Yeah.
But the reporters don't know that. They just take it at face value.
Yeah,
but it was nice to see Diop on the bench, which that surprised me too. So that's a good sign too. We might get some centre halves back.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, and and what with the reports that Oggy's back on the grass training and stuff like that, also another great sign. But do you think we might see him Thursday night, Cieran? With this. We're bearing in mind what we've just been saying about David Moyes, and that he said it's unlikely he will feature before the end of the season. Yeah. What game you earmarking for his return?
I don't expect to see him at all before the end of the season myself. But like you said, with Moyes, you'd never know, mate. He might spring a surprise on you. But I don't expect to see Ogbonna between now and the end of the season. at all.
No,
I think hopefully he's good for next season. You know, and I'm not sure he would actually take that chance either. You know, I'm not sure he'd take that chance with him because this is a guy that has been out for a long while with serious injury, and that's a bit different, you know, than having an ankle injury for 2 or 3 weeks. No, I don't see him rushing him back. I don't see him.
No. He's been under the knife, hasn't he, Oggy? He's had to have an operation, hasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And not only that, mate. If you see Diop on the bench, right, we get Dawson back next week, and we've got 3 centre halves that are capable. Of doing it.
And you know, over this season, I think Diop has kind of done enough to warm himself to us lot. You know, although there are rumours that certain clubs are interested in him and stuff, and a lot of fans, from what I've been hearing, have been saying, let him go. Let him go.
Yeah.
I think he's done enough.
I might have been in that camp 6 months ago, mate. You know, because I was disappointed in when he did get chances. He weren't fulfilling the potential I think he's got. But in the last few games, he stepped up again, and he's looking like the player he should be.
Yeah.
And until he got injured, same old story. He's starting to look the part, and he got injured. And I think there is a good player there. I really think there is. But
I think Kurt Zuma brings the best of him out, don't you?
Who's that, Budge?
I think playing up alongside Kurt Zuma has brought the best of him out.
Yeah.
When we've used him, he's normally been in there with Zuma, hasn't he? Let's be fair. He played with Dawson a few times and looked pretty good. Yeah, but when he's been out there with Zuma, he looks so much more comfortable on the ball. He looks a lot more, what's the word? Confident in his game.
I always think, Budgie, like centre halves, it's very hard to judge them individually because I've always believed that 2 centre halves are a pairing, and if they match and they combine, mate, a good pairing don't have to be the best centre halves in the world. They just got to understand each other and combine, and you can have 2, not the greatest centre halves in the world, do a great job. And I think lots of teams have done that over the years. They
we've been doing it this season, mate. With the likes of Issa Diop and Craig Dawson. Now, a lot of people are going to probably take a sharp intake of breath when I say that Dawson is not the best centre-back in the world. They're going to go, "Ooh, really? Look how good he's been this season." Agreed.
He's been great.
Fucking brilliant. But
he's been brilliant, mate. I reckon, before yesterday Arsenal game, he was probably our man of the match for about 5 games on the trot.
Easily 5, maybe more, mate. Yeah.
When you think about people calling him man of the match after he got sent off against Chelsea, that tells you what an impact he's had.
Oh God, yeah. And like as I said, to us, he's a bloody hero, and he's provided us with some fantastic entertainment with his goals and stuff, and he's given us, opportunity and everything to improve on ourselves and to get the results that we've been getting. Dawson's been a major part of that. But like I said, if you're a football manager and you're given the choice between, let's just say, Craig Dawson, Antonio Rudiger, and what's his name, Virgil van Dijk, Dawson's going to be your 3rd choice.
Of course.
Out of the 3. So, as you said, and I could have chosen maybe another couple of centre backs, that perhaps Dawson would still be the 3rd choice.
You can, but the thing is, I think what West Ham realised,
he's been absolutely huge. He's been huge.
He's been our best centre half in the last couple of months. On form, so we can't knock him, can we?
No, 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 no.
But
And for the,
he should be back for Thursday, son. So
yeah,
he's back for Thursday, and you've got Diop on the bench. So
yeah,
I presume we'll start with
with Craig.
Dawson and Zuma, but we have got backup. Hopefully, that Diop's not just there for window dressing; he's there because he's fit.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, Um, going back to Thursday and looking forward to this Thursday. Disappointing result, 2-1 loss, but it's only half time.
It's only half time, right?
Yeah,
I've always said it.
Back into the changing room for an orange and a little chin wag with the boss. And,
Exactly.
we're back out again at 8 o'clock on Thursday. So,
Something I've always said, Budge, when it comes to European football, as long as you keep yourself in the tie to the second leg, if you have a bad result, don't have a bad result where you've lost 3 or 4-0, because then it's really hard to come back, right? So we didn't lose 3 or 4-0. We lost by an odd goal. And the chances we created last Thursday tells me, and we didn't have the greatest performance, but yet we still could have scored 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah.
So that tells me if we play better, if we're more up for it on the night, there's no reason why we can't create this, that amount of chances again and maybe take a couple more.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving this up at all. I think we've got every chance, but it's going to be down to the players on the night to all stand up and perform. If we've got 4 or 5 players underperforming, we're going out. And that's it.
And we've got a fairly good away record in this competition. Through from group stage to now, semi-final, we've had 1 away loss.
Exactly. And we got them back, and we took them to extra time and beat them.
Yes.
And that's what you do in European football. You keep yourself in the tie. I thought the 1-0 loss out there was a good result, Budge. I really did. That'll do me.
Especially when you're looking at the team that we were up against, which was, the record
favourites.
Yeah, the record winner. The record number of wins, haven't they? They've had the most wins in that competition. They've dominated it. I think they've had 5 wins in 10 years or something, or 9 years. So they've done everything they can to keep their hands on that trophy. Yeah, and we prized their hands off of it, which I'm proud of that achievement. I think
and we turned them over.
And by doing so, we've given ourselves much more of a chance of dominating the rest of the competition, because now the other clubs that are in it are looking at us going, well, they've just done the favourites. And then they went and did the second favourites in Lyon. Both of them with decent away performances, but, obviously in Seville, we lost that 1-0. But we've done so well away. I mean, when we went to Lyon, everybody written us off. It was kind of, they're not going to do it. It's so difficult to go away and do this in Europe and blah, blah, blah. And it is very, very, very difficult. But, and I've said this a number of times on streams, Cieran, I believe that on that night, the night that we played Lyon, in Lyon, I don't believe that there was a club team in the world that would have beaten us that night.
No, I think we were very good.
We were that proverbial sleeping giant that had been poked with a stick. Well, you know what I mean?
This is my point, Budge, about you can't turn up like we did in that first leg with only about 6 players performing. When we went to Lyon that day, if you went back to any of the all them channels, everyone doing player ratings, there wouldn't have been one West Ham player who got under a 7. It'd have been 7, 8s, and 9s. Yeah, because everyone was playing to their potential, or near enough, Yeah. But what we've had lately is when in that Frankfurt game, there were 3 or 4 players that were nowhere near it. Nowhere near playing to their potential.
And there was 1 or 2 players who I felt looked like they were kind of intimidated by the game.
Yeah, but a couple were just not playing well at all. And young Johnson got found out a little bit. He was poor, and Souček was poor. Fornals was poor. The rest of the team carried that, so we only lost by 1 goal. We only 1-0 down basically.
Yeah.
And but in Lyon, everyone was at it. And what we got to repeat in this one is everyone be at it at Frankfurt. And if everyone's at it, we can do them.
Yeah,
we can. We can win.
It's like I was saying about the Arsenal game yesterday. If we get at them, we could get a result. Now,
yeah,
that second goal of Arsenal's came from a mistake. Really, to be fair, quite a hefty mistake, if I remember rightly. But I felt that we were getting at them, and we got the goal back, and we were in quite a decent. We were having quite a decent level of performance until the second half, which I felt was very lackluster. Yeah, very lackluster. And we just didn't improve at all. In fact, I think that the performance levels dropped after the substitutions yesterday. That didn't happen in the game against Frankfurt last week. We did improve after the substitution, but too late. Too late was the cry. When the man with the bargains has passed you by, No, but we need to pick up our level of performance after substitutions again, because we've been doing that reasonably well this year. But yesterday and Thursday, it just didn't seem to be the case. I think that certain players come on as an impact sub and really do lift the whole team. Other players don't. They come on and they try and perform for themselves. Now, there's only one player in particular I'm thinking of. I'm not going to name him because this isn't what we're about. We're not about calling anybody out today, but there is a player, or maybe two players, that don't generally come on as a sub to play for the club. They come on and try and impress.
We got that.
Coming back to Thursday night's game coming. Can you see David Moyes risking anybody? For example, like Issa Diop on the bench yesterday, but is he to start? Is he fit enough to play 90? Can you see him starting or playing the full 90 minutes at the moment? Issa Diop.
No. If everyone's fit, if we go by Dawson will be back, and Zuma is, I presume he's fit, because I really did not expect him to play against Arsenal. I thought he'd rest him. So he's up, and he had a good game, Zuma. He had a very good game against Arsenal. So, no, it's going to be Zuma Dawson. There'll be no surprises, mate. The only thing I would make sure of is play Soufal instead of Johnson. Right? Soufal, he proved against Arsenal that he's more of an attacking threat than Johnson will ever be. Yeah. Right? Johnson doesn't have that in his game. He's not quick enough. He doesn't get the crosses in quick enough. He doesn't have the pace. I'm not saying that Soufal is really pacey, but he does get balls into the box. He makes this drive
forward. And the thing with Soufal, he can be in his own box, and then he can be crossing a ball into the opposition box for a series of movement. He won't pick the ball up in his own half and run all the way with it, because he knows he's slower and more likely to be caught and tackled. Whereas like with the likes of Bowen in front of him, or Rice or Souček ahead of him, he'll play his way up the wing, make his way up the wing and play it for it. When he gets that ball out on that right hand flank, mate, listen, I think there must be a magnet on the centre spot because that's where he aims it every time. And, you know, he does get it into the box well.
Yeah, he doesn't always get it right, Budge. You know what I mean? It's like anyone. He doesn't always get it right, but he does get it in there. When I find with Johnson is the defender seems to block it nearly every time because he takes too long to make a decision to cross it, and the guy closes him down. And plus, he's just not got that burst of pace, Johnson. Yeah. And I'm not trying to knock the young lad. I really like the boy. Yeah. But he hasn't got that. But I'm just talking about factual things that I see week in, week out. He hasn't got that burst of pace to get past him and whip a ball in. Wow. And I always find that Bowen performs better when Soufal's on the pitch, when they're linking.
I think he's a lot more confident in the guy behind him. That's probably why.
Yeah.
You know, and exactly. Listen, Ben Johnson, he has been amazing this season. He's come in as a young, you know, academy lad, and you know, fair play to him. He's been amazing. He's done really well. He's
done well.
You know, made a great account for himself. You know, but as you say, his game does lack a little bit. You know, a little bit of pace. You know, and maybe a little bit of what's the word? A little bit of like the footballing brain is not quite developed enough yet. You know, he's not getting past the first defender with a crossfield ball at half the time.
And I worry for him there, Bud, because you can teach players all sorts of things, right? How to do that, how to do this, how to defend properly. But what you can't teach is, you know, pace. But you've either got pace or you haven't. And the more I see him, the more I think he lacks it. And I don't think, you know, if you're pretending to be a top 6 Premiership club every year, I'm not sure he'll keep that place as right back for very long.
Yeah,
I really don't. And I like him. I think he's had some of his best games when he played left back, which Fredericks did yesterday and had a good game at left back.
Listen, Fredericks for me yesterday, Fredericks was a player of note. He was a player that I felt deserved, you know, some plaudits for yesterday because he had a fantastic game. He looked comfortable. He, you know, his distribution was pretty spot on. He was pretty good in the tackle yesterday, you know.
Well, he was good. He had a good game.
You know, and I think, you know, and Wally will be pleased to hear this as well, but I think Fredericks yesterday put himself in with a shout for West Ham man of the match. I really do think so, you know.
Yeah.
If
Rice weren't playing, he had a chance.
Yeah, I would give it Kurt Zuma for yesterday.
And Zuma was good.
Yeah, but Frederick put himself up there with a good shout for it, you know.
He had a good performance, and that's more to the point, you know, not so much being man of the match, but to me, to be thrown in, you know, not having much game time and thrown in at left back when you're a right back and having a performance, I was delighted for him. I think he's done really well, and he deserves a pat on the back. He does.
Yeah. And in fairness, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the pros and cons of keeping or selling Ryan Fredericks. I'm kind of in the camp of keeping him because I think he's a very useful substitute, you know, very useful squad player. You know, I'm in the camp to keep him myself.
That much. I mean, to sell him, you know, financially, it's not even worth thinking about. So, as a squad player, I think he's a great squad player. Because I don't believe this season, every time he's come on, I don't think he's done much wrong.
No.
You know?
No, he hasn't.
I don't think he has.
And, you know, yesterday, unfortunately, was the first time that he started this season that we didn't win the game.
But he started at left back and not right back, so it still counts.
You're just on Wally's side now.
Wally will tell you that anyway.
Yeah, but you're just on his side now.
He's weren't in his natural position. When he started in his natural position, we've always won. If he started.
Okay. All right,
So
okay.
now he didn't.
Now you're adjusting Wally's rules.
Yeah, he's convinced me. Wally's
Yeah,
convinced me.
he'll love that. He'll love that. But yeah, I mean, a decent performance from the lad, and you know, he puts himself in with a shout for a start on Thursday, if you ask me, or at least maybe not a start, maybe coming on in sort of 70, 75 minutes.
Well, let's put it this way, Budge. I'll tell you what, week in, week out, I can't pick what Moyes is going to do, right? He just surprises me every week. Because he's such a lying bastard, right? You never know what's going to happen, right? But I'm pretty convinced I can pick the 11 that's starting on Thursday this time. Because he's going to pick his best 11, and I'm pretty sure I know what that is. And that's Soufal and it's Dawson that he's got available. It's Soufal, Dawson, Zuma, Cresswell, right? That's the back four.
With Areola involved, clearly, yeah.
Yeah, plus, of course, he's going to stick with his European goalkeeper. And you Souček and Rice, and then you'll have Lanzini, you'll have Fornals, and you'll have Bowen and Antonio. And if he changes anything from that, I'll be absolutely gone. That's it. I'm not going to ever pick a team again. Never pick a team again. To me, it picks itself, right? It picks itself.
It certainly does. And, so you favour Lanzini or Fornals over Benrahma then?
Oh, every day of the week. Every day of the week, mate. I'm a little bit over Benrahma, at the moment, And even though I don't think he had a bad game against Arsenal, he weren't terrible, but I fucking watched him in that first half going down that line, and he tried, even with Fredericks overlapping him, he didn't feed him at times, right? And then when he did get one-on-one with that defender, he chopped to the right, he chopped to the left, he was, and then held the ball up. And by that time, we're on the break, And then by that time, Arsenal's back four are all sorted. And then he'd pass it backwards.
Yeah.
And it just slows down everything you're doing, being a counter-attacking team.
Yeah.
And it was just frustrating the shit out of me. I thought he'd done better in the second half. Actually, he was a little bit more attacking and done things quicker and whipped a couple of good balls in. But that first half, it was just the same old. It was just really frustrating me. So really, I know he's not a winger, and I'm sure Benrahma doesn't class himself as a winger. But the trouble is, what we need is a left winger, and we haven't got one. We've got pretend ones like Fornals or Benrahma or whoever you want to put it. None of them are real left wingers. We need what Bowen offers on the right. We need on the left, and Benrahma's not it.
Yeah,
he's definitely not it.
Yeah, I tend to think personally that Masuaku would be a better left winger than Benrahma.
Masuaku's got more chance of beating a player on that side, getting past him with his pace, than Benrahma has. Benrahma relies on trickery, not his pace, and he's too lightweight. That Tommy Arsu at Arsenal, he was too strong for him, and he weren't a fool, and his trickery didn't work against him. Not very often, let's put it that way. So, as much as I'm not knocking him, I thought Benrahma tried his hardest yesterday and didn't have a bad game.
Yeah.
But when you want him just to take the boy on, beat him, get the ball in, he weren't doing that. He was showing a lot, but that Tommy Arsu, to me, had his number. Yeah. And he wasn't getting much joy out of him.
Yeah. We were both guesting on Forge from Iron yesterday, last night. Last night for me, this morning for you, wasn't it? And we were talking, one of the subjects that Gatesy brought up was the fact that there were Arsenal fans in the home end wearing their colours. Now, the question that he posed with that was, is it right for away supporters to wear their colours in the home end? And I think most of us agreed that it wasn't right. And I think, we all had different reasoning for that answer, and every one of us were valid in the reasoning that we had. So, you know, the thing, and one of the things that really annoys me, and this is the point that I actually wanted to raise with you today, is that the security and the stewards and stuff are not employees of West Ham United. They're employees of London Stadium or the LLDC or whatever it is. We, you know, the outcome of, you know, some supporters being Arsenal supporters in the ground, in the home end, they were escorted out by a steward. They were taken to his supervisor. He then went back to his post, and 5 minutes later, these four guys came up not wearing a Arsenal shirt. So clearly, the supervisor had authorised them to go back into the stadium, but take your colours off, mate. Basically,
yeah.
The thing is, though, they'd already been identified by a number of people around them as Arsenal fans. So the fact that he's taken his shirt off isn't. It's not enough. Do you know? He should have been put in a different, or all of them should have been put in a different section of the ground, whether it be the away section or another part of the home section, but without their colours on, so they couldn't have been identified as Arsenal fans. It's dangerous for them to put them back in, really, to be fair. And it's an issue that needs to be brought up by the club, if you ask me, because the fact that they are not employees of the club, they're only employees of the stadium, kind of gives you the impression that they don't give a shit about what goes on in there, as long as they get paid, kind of thing. So, you know, this needs addressing. You know, the thing is, you don't see this kind of thing happening at Manchester United or Tottenham or Liverpool. You know, you just don't see it. You just don't hear about it. And if it happens, I would imagine it's dealt with pretty quickly, you know, whereas this doesn't seem to have been resolved in any way, shape, or form yesterday. So, you know, I think that needs looking into by the club, if you ask me. You know, definitely. That is not a scenario that I would want to be in, that's for sure. But then I ain't stupid enough to wear my colours in an away end.
No,
you know,
you shouldn't.
No.
And for their own safety, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
It maybe. I don't blame them four lads. They've got four tickets. They're stupid enough to walk in with Arsenal colours on, and no one, you know, pulls them up on it.
Yeah.
And fair play to Gacy, he pulled them up, and you know, and questioned it. And
but you got to question
why are they there? What I would question is, why are they there? Who did you get them tickets from? Are you getting these tickets from a West Ham
source?
No, a West Ham season ticket holder. Now, if that's the case, then, you know, how do you address that? Then you have to go back to that season ticket holder and look at their numbers of their tickets and go, how did you get these? Mm-hmm. That should be the question. Yeah. The boys are just, you know, I mean, I've begged and done everything to get tickets for games over the years, mate, you know, in the day. Yeah. But you know, I'd get in any end. I didn't give a shit where I was, but I wouldn't walk in with West Ham colours in their end. I wouldn't walk in with a West Ham shirt on in their end, mate. For your own safety, you know, it's just pure stupidity.
Yeah,
so I'd look at the source of why they were there.
And the thing is, Cieran, you know, originally when Rob first noticed that there was a family, a dad and his two young boys sitting in these seats, all three of them wearing Arsenal shirts. Rob spoke to the security guy, and he said that this family looked like they were Japanese or something, or Korean or whatever. But he said, you know, they were just sat there. You know,
it's hard to blame them, Budge, because
no,
I mean,
no,
you know what you've got to take
actually blame them. But when Rob spoke to the steward then escorted them out of that section, and
hopefully into a safe section where they were fine.
Presumably put them somewhere safe. I would hope so. You know, I mean, listen, they paid their money. They should be able to watch the game in safety and comfort. So hopefully they were moved to a safe zone. Within about 5 minutes, 4 other guys came up and occupied the same seats. All Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
All Arsenal fans again, though. So what does that tell us? You know, there's a family of 3 in a section where there's 4 seats available. Arsenal fans, they get removed, and 4 more Arsenal fans come and fill the spot.
Don't know. Oh, shit.
That doesn't go down well with me. I mean that's almost like there's some kind of.
It's a bit strange, and it shouldn't be happening.
Some kind of deal going on where them seats are available to whoever wants them, kind of thing.
Just 30 seconds, go.
Yeah. And while Cieran's off, I'm going to give you a little bit of.
Artie, Zen. Yeah. Look, we're just gonna throw some bars in, have a bit of a laugh, have some fun. Hope you guys like it. Much love. You know it is. Come on, you ones.
I'm back.
Yes. And,
I recognise that, bloke.
Yeah. So, we need to address that. Really, I think that people wearing away colours in the home end. I think that needs to be addressed because that could cause a problem, and we don't want problems, especially with families and stuff. Although I would hope that 99.9% of West Ham fans would leave families alone.
Oh, you'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I believe in my heart that if there's a family there, they're going to get treated with the respect and that's due. I do believe that. My first experience of a game, as you well know, at Upton Park, I was, with my mum and dad. I was 4 years old, and we were in the bloody Newcastle supporter section.
Yeah, right.
We were West Ham fans. We're home fans in the away end. And at that time, 1966, 67.
Didn't have it quite soft then, Budge.
No. But, all the Newcastle supporters were very, magnanimous, and they even escorted us down to the front so that the kids could see, myself and my brother could see.
That's how it was.
Yeah, and kind of, it should still be like that, really. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, because of the way society is now and the cost of tickets and stuff like that, there is no courtesy anymore. Really, it's basically that's my seat. Fuck off. And one time you used to be able to wander around from stand to stand, and these days it's very difficult to do that. No,
it's just the way it is, mate.
Yeah.
Look, these things are put in place for people's safety, right? And that's paramount these days, isn't it? And that's why you have an allocation of an away end area in every ground, to keep, it's not just for you, causing trouble anywhere else. It's more for your safety, not ending up in the wrong end of a pitch, which I've done many times, and it's dangerous. So really, the Arsenal supporters that come into that into a West Ham, and they know, they can see where all the Arsenal supporters are. They bought tickets they shouldn't have, but to me, I could probably let them get away with that because I've done it many times. But to be wearing an Arsenal shirt, to me, is borders on stupidity.
Or arrogance.
an arrogance, or or just a lack of control by West Ham.
Yeah.
And
Now,
between I don't blame the stewards, but their supervisor, whoever that is, he should be on the ball, right? Whoever's on the ball.
And the thing is, the supervisor apparently, because these 4 guys, they were taken and they came back. And then afterwards, Gatesy spoke to that steward again. And he said, mate, I took him to my boss. He said, look, I'm not an employee of West Ham United. He said, but my supervisor is. He's employed by the club.
Weird. To me, Budgie, what he said, it's like that they came to him, he took them out to him, and the boy's gone, "What boys, take your colours off and you can go back." That's what it sounds like.
Of course he is. And you've also got a question as well, from the turnstile to the seat. Now, I've been to that stadium. I went there last week for the Frankfurt game. I've been to that stadium, and I know that you walk past at least half a dozen stewards on your way from the turnstile to your seat. You walk past at least half a dozen stewards, no matter what turnstile you go through, no matter where your seat is. You're walking past at least half a dozen stewards. How are they not noticing people walking through with an Arsenal shirt on? And it's probably the answer of,
it's not hard, is it?
They don't care, because they're not really, they're not employed by the club or whatever. And I would think that a lot of them aren't even football fans, and they just don't understand the implications of what could happen in that situation. And I think the club needs to educate them all. I think there needs to be some kind of memo, or like a training day or something, where they all get told, listen, if you see any other colour but claret and blue, you've got to challenge them. You've got to find out why they're in that section.
And that, if they're Burnley, it gets a bit trickier.
Yeah, but then it's not so noticeable in amongst everybody else either, is it? And if they're just sitting there and they're just behaving themselves watching the game, if they're in their colours, it's not so noticeable to us lot. So it probably wouldn't be such an issue. I mean, if it was Villa, yeah, definitely, fuck Villa. Anyway, anything you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
Oh, mate, we're heading into a semi-final, mate. We're heading into a semi-final, and we're all excited. Yeah. I think what I will say about that, though, win, lose or draw, whether we go through or not, it will change our direction for the rest of the season. If we lose and we're not getting to that final, then we got 3 games left to try and secure 7th spot, and I think 7th spot is where we're going to be. But I do believe all we're doing now is we ain't competing against Arsenal and Tottenham at the moment. No. Not even Man United. We could be competing against Man United, but we've got to play Man City next. But what we are competing is Wolves, right? We need to, as long as we match Wolves' results, right, or better them, we will be 7th. And yet again, we're in Europe next year. It might be the Conference League, but we're back in Europe, and I'll be delighted with that.
Yeah, and people might say,
really upset the apple cart, Budge, though. Yeah. And Man United keep imploding as they do, or whatever they do.
Yeah,
the possibilities are 6th. So I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket about this semi-final. I still believe we can finish in a spot that gives us 7th or 6th.
As I've said, I believe that we should be fighting on all fronts. I think that, we can't take any competition, whether it be the league, a domestic cup, this European competition. No. We can't take any of them for granted. We can't take it lightly. We have to go out there and we have to perform. We have to challenge, and we have to have the desire to win.
But if we do get knocked out, though, Budge, then there is only one left. and then all our focus is on that.
Yeah,
if we win it, if we can get past Frankfurt, which I do believe we can.
Yeah.
If everybody's on their game on Thursday, I do believe we can.
Yeah.
And then that changes things a bit. Then we got another dilemma, you know, because the Man City game, you know, for me, I would give it up. I wouldn't. If we got through, I wouldn't give a shit about that Man City game. But I would give a shit about Norwich and Brighton. I would still try to win both them.
They're two clubs we need to get points from.
Yeah, we need to get something, Budgie.
Yeah.
Right? To secure 7th or 6th in case. Because the trouble is with a final of the Europa League, it's everything or nothing.
Yeah.
You could get to that final and lose it on, you know, a penalty or a sending off or, you know, a bad decision by the referee, or you could lose it on that and you got nothing. So I still want our league position as backup to get into Europe next year. So I'm not worried about Man City so much, because I think they're too good for us, right? For one, but who knows? We could upset them. But Norwich and Brighton, then I do believe, whether we're in the final or not, we need to go to them 2 games and try and win them, and put 6 points on the board. If we put 6 points on the board from in them 2 games, we are definitely getting 7th minimum, right?
Yeah.
So,
agreed. And you know, I mean, even though if we qualified for the Europa Conference League, would you still believe that this was, you know, a decent season for us?
Absolutely, Budge. It's a great season, mate. I'm telling you, you and me know, mate, in our lifetime, we very rarely see 2 consistent seasons where we're in the top 6, 7, right? Very rare. It's really rare. And to finish 6th last year, and if we finish 7th this year, mate, that's 2 great seasons from where we were. We were battling relegation, and now we're absolutely a success. It's a progression. You can't have. I'll be honest, Budge. Last year, when we did have the opportunity, we could have got 4th, right? I'm glad we didn't. I was delighted we didn't, because we're not ready for it. We're not ready for Champions League.
And we wouldn't still be in that competition at this stage of the season.
Not at all. Not at all. We would have dropped down to the Europa League, maybe. We might have, maybe. But we're not ready for that. I want to see West Ham progress in stages. And but if we won the Europa League and win the Champions League, and we bought well this season, the one thing then you got to look at the other side of it and go, right, if we finish 3rd in that group, we drop down to the Europa League and we just go and win it again. So everything's a bonus, right? It's a bonus. We're not expected to do well in the Champions League, but if we finish 3rd in the group, we go down to the Europa League and we just go and win it again. 2 years on the trot. Fuck it. Love it.
Brilliant. Right, well, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. I want to try and keep this under the hour. I like to keep it under the hour to keep people interested. Listen, if any of you guys got anything to say about what Cieran and I have been discussing today, comment below, please. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us a share, subscribe. You know, share the show if you enjoyed it, and also, you know, as I said, give us some comments and maybe even give us some questions about something that you might want us to cover in future shows. So, you know.
But if you're going to be abusive, well, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
No, please, you know, give us a comment and let us know what you think about today's content, and, you know, some ideas from content in the future. We will come back with some old-time Upton Park stories and stuff in the near future. Today, we thought we would just chat about mainly the European games, because we've got the biggest one of our lifetimes coming up on Thursday night. It's the 2nd leg of the Europa League.
Yeah, boy. And it can be done. It can be done.
Eintracht Frankfurt. Well, you have to travel there to do it, but we can do it. We can do it.
We're going there, mate. We're going there to win it. We're not there for an haircut. We're going there to win it.
Yeah. let's have it. So on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much to Cieran for joining me on the camera. Appreciated, mate, as always. Love chatting with you. Thank you to those of you that are going to watch this on the premiere, and also to those of you that watch it in the future. And remember, Green Street Elites, it's all about the fans, really. So if you want to become, if you want to become a part of this show, well, not this show, but a part of the channel, leave us a comment below. I'll get back to you, and I'll get you on the in crowd, because I love chatting to the fans. Well, that's me. I'm done. Cieran, anything you want to say before we go, mate?
No, let's enjoy the memories, boys. We've had a good season. Regardless of what happens between now and the end, we've had a good season. Lots of good memories, mate. We've beaten Chelsea, Man United. The only top 6 team we haven't beaten is fucking Arsenal. But, well, in one form or another. But we've got Frankfurt, mate. We're in the semi-final. It's half-time. We can win it. So I'm hoping by the time we ever talk to each other again, we've got either good or bad things to say. But at the end of the day, if we go out, it's still been good. It's still been a good season.
It's still been an amazing season, you know.
Yeah.
And for a large percentage of our fan base, they would never have seen us in not even in a cup run. We
got sometimes you have to limit your expectations, Budgie. You know what I mean? We limit your expectations. 2 seasons, 6th or 7th. It's 2 great seasons for us, and hopefully we progress from there, and we have an even better one next year. But we'll see.
100%. On that note, we'll sign off. I'll chat to you in the green room, Cieran. I have got to quickly use the loo first, though. But I'll chat to you in the green room. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully you'll have a pleasant week. Enjoy the game on Thursday. Any of you that are going to Germany, please stay safe. Try and stay out of trouble, and make sure that you have your ticket if you're going to the stadium. They're not going to let you in the stadium without tickets.
Don't have it in the Frankfurt end. I don't think you get away with it.
Yeah, and if you have got a Frankfurt ticket, like for the away end, make sure you pay cash, or you pay with somebody that you know in Germany. Pay with their credit card, because they will pay, and they will do exactly what Leon did, and they will cancel the tickets. So, but guys and girls, have a great time wherever you're watching it, whatever you're doing. Make sure you're loud and proud, wear your colours, and cheer on the Irons. Come on, let's have it. Let's get into this final. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Come on, you Irons.
See you, Zach.